I'm not afraid of bad reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's, to your point, I think it shows your character when you do respond to that, right? That's going to say something anyway.
I haven't always responded great, I'll tell you that. But I haven't. Honestly, I've learned about myself. I need to take some time to breathe before I respond to certain things.
Welcome, everybody, back to the Connection Corner. Today, I have somebody that I met, I don't know, 6 years ago, maybe?
I have no concept.
I can't remember. But again, our relationship has just meshed over the years. So I have Michael Ortiz, and he is with Massage Customs. Woo, 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 woo.
Woo, woo.
So welcome. I'm so excited to have you here today because I think you and I are very similar. Like you're the male version. I'm the female version.
Yeah, I might be a little feminine as well, though.
Okay, well, all right. Well, now we have that on camera. And I think it's because you and I have the same passion and we have the same drive and we have that connection piece with, I think, people that we run into. And I think that's why we've stayed friends for so long, because when you do have those connections, it's just forever, in my opinion. So I think that I'm always fascinated to watch you on social media, and we're going to talk more about that and where you can find him. But you're always striving for more and you're always moving forward, which is something that I love to do. And I love to be around people that do that, because I think collectively we're moving forward in our lives, professionally and personally, right? Because we kind of have blended the two, I think, at this point in our careers. It's kind of self-awareness, self-help, and that's where I think where you shine in your message. So tell us about, who you are and your family and your
what you just said there children. Too is I know so many children. What you just said there too is why I love the business journey in general, is because it is a personal growth journey. Like there is no getting great at business and not improving yourself.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like, it's something that has to happen.
Right.
And I tell people, every business book that I read, it's a relationship book, dude.
Right.
I've improved my marriage from like sales books.
Wow. Yeah.
So
I think it's awareness though, right? Because I think when you do some of those self-help, in reading these books, it's something that gives clarity to us personally, that now gives clarity to those around us, right? Or how we want to treat, or how we want to be, or how we want to show up into a relationship. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the experience that you had.
Yeah, just getting a different perspective from people who are doing more than you, doing better than you, But even when it comes to business people, I don't really like even listening to people who aren't actually good. Like if they're like getting divorced a bunch.
There's a problem.
I mean, I might listen to their sales advice, but that's about it,
Right.
Not necessarily their life advice, but
right.
Yeah.
So how did you, tell us a little bit about your story and how you got here today, and because you're a business owner, you're expanding on that, which is amazing. So what was that drive, to really kind of get you to this point?
Well, I was born August 25th, 1987. No, I'm just kidding.
Which hospital? No,
Virginia Beach. Yeah. Look, when I was 19, I was dating my wife, and she said, I was giving her a massage. And we were just dating at the time. She's like, you're actually pretty good at this. You might want to start thinking about doing it for a career.
Yeah.
I really think she was like, bro, you're a lifeguard. You
need a career.
You kind of we're getting serious. We're adults now. Like you need to do something with your life.
Right.
So she kind of gave me that nudge. Because it's something I had thought about.
Right.
I'd gotten massages before, and I was like, I stole all the moves. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, gotta impress.
Yeah.
And so when she said it, I was like not even that long after, I saw a commercial for a massage school on TV. I called that day, ended up going over there in like an hour, and call my girlfriend, wife now, but call my mom. I'm like, what do you think? They're like, yeah, go ahead and do it. The good thing is they gave you 6 months to decide if that's what you really wanted to do. So there's like no risk in the beginning. You can drop out and not have to pay anything. But I ended up loving it.
Cool.
Right. And so people were like, initially, honestly, I got in for it. I'm like, I think you can make decent money doing this, more than my $9.75 an hour as a lifeguard. But I did end up really, really enjoying the work. It's not for everybody. You know, there's people that put your hand on you, they're shaking in class. I'm like, bro, you
Yeah. Yeah.
gotta go, my boy.
Yeah.
Came out of school, got a job at Massage Envy, and that's where I really started the like personal growth journey.
Mm-hmm.
About 3 to 6 months into my career, somebody canceled, like they ended the session early on me.
Mm.
You know, and I was like devastated. I thought I was
Like,
doing,
what happened? What
yeah,
did I
dude.
do?
I thought I was the stuff before that, right? Like I
Right.
thought I was the man. People were
Right.
gassing me up,
Right.
and she canceled it early on me, and I'm like, I know nothing, dude. You
Wow.
know, but some people will like take that and then like want to quit, but I took that and I'm like, I want to make sure that never happens again because that
Mm-hmm.
royally sucked.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I want to make like, what can I do to make sure that I give myself and the client the best chance possible to get them results and make them happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that started that journey for me. That's really an obsession. I've been obsessing over it for the last 18 years.
Wow.
Still obsessing over it. Still trying to learn, even though I have like solid processes and structure in place around that. But it's a never-ending journey. I don't think I'll ever
Mm-hmm.
stop trying to improve that.
Yeah. Well, and I think your methods, and even when I'm following you on social media, what you're doing is something totally different than what you would get at Massage Envy anyway. Right.
Yeah.
It's like leveled up.
Well, there's levels to everything,
Yeah.
you know?
But some people, I think, kind of like stay in that because it's like comfortable and they know what to expect versus what more can I get out of this? Right. And I
Right.
think that's what you do is you give them more out of your massages now than you would have just staying at Massage Envy.
Well,
Not dissing Massage Envy on this at all. I'm just saying
right.
there's a certain expectation as a patron going into there, like, oh, I'm just going to get this. I feel like you take your clients to the next level and give them long-term healing,
That is the goal.
right? Yeah, I love that.
That's the goal. You know,
I love it.
I think we normalize pain,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
I think our society is like, you start hearing things like, oh, I'm 40, this is just what happens now. You know,
right.
I'm 50, this is just what happens now. And the truth is pain is not normal.
Mm-hmm.
What's normal is to feel great,
Right.
but we don't, right?
We
And there's
don't.
tons of reasons for
Yeah.
that if you want to get into it. But
Yeah.
the bottom line is we accept being in pain and not feeling great as our normal, and it just isn't, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Mm-hmm. I think people don't invest in themselves, right? Because it does cost
100%.
money to do that. So they tend to put the money over here versus over here, right? And I think for us, I think we have to invest in ourselves. So we have to not make that a norm,
Hmm.
but you have to go and you have to get that work done.
We
Right.
just,
That's
and
the
it's,
problem.
yeah, it's massage though. It's also what we eat.
Yeah.
It's exercise. You know, it's stretching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything. It's like everything that's good for you is hard.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, because it's not something we do on a daily basis. So now you have to implement stretching and you're going to be sore. So now it's that's where I think some of that fear comes into of, oh, well, now I'm going to have a consequence or feeling now that I'm doing that. Because we're not prone to doing that on a daily basis. However, you start doing that on a daily basis, it's going to be fine, right?
It's
It'll be
crazy.
your norm.
It's crazy what will happen if you're consistent with something.
Yeah. So tell us about what is going on now. Like, how do you feel, about the next part of what you've got? Because you've been doing this for so long. You said 18 years, right?
Mhm.
18, 19 years. And so, you've built it to this, but I always see you striving for more. So where is this taking you now? And then where do you kind of see this going? We were talking before we started today about dreaming big and always having those things that seem, the influences that we have or here are the, impossibles, if you will, right? But if we don't have those in front of us, we're never going to get, in my opinion, we're never going to get all those things that lead up to that. And all those things that lead up to it, I think, are just as great. So where, you're here now, what is it that you're looking forward to,
Well, dude, I just going off what you said, it's like you never know where you're going to end up.
Right.
You know, I didn't plan on being where I'm at right now, right? Like going back, my original plan was to grow Massage Customs to like 10,000 therapists, have like a bunch of satellite
Yeah, we did
locations,
talk about that.
right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to train and support the therapists in their own business under our brand. That was the original goal. And I had grown my personal business up to 6 therapists at one point. And after 2020, pre-2020, so 2019, I did my first satellite location, moved a therapist over there. We're starting to grow that. And we're getting that in place. And then 2020 happened, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I kind of reevaluated, like, what do I actually want? You know, it kind of gave me that time.
Right.
The answer that came up for me was peace.
Mm.
I want peace because I've been
Wow.
grinding, you know?
Yep.
I've been grinding up to this point, you
Mhm.
know? And so I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to just back off for a minute and just do me for a little bit.
Mhm.
And so we had to close that location because what's the point in paying money for another location that we weren't
Yeah.
allowed to be at?
Yeah.
Brought her back over to my location. We started back up in June of 2020. We were slammed, right? People needed touch, I think,
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah.
And then, but like so I think it was 2021, if I'm getting my dates right, but I just had a thought like, I have this rental suite, right? Because I took that
Mhm.
over in 2016. I was renting rooms there and then I took it over. The owner didn't want to do it anymore. And so I had 11 rooms that I was renting out. I always wanted to get into real estate. It's still a goal to have like real
Mm.
estate properties on, and take the money I'm earning, put it
Yeah.
into some passive. And I was like, dude, I was refinancing my house and the person was like, what is this rental property you have? I'm like, I don't have rental property. What do you mean? She's like, yeah, this Flawless Silhouettes. Like, what is that? And I was like, that's not rental property. That's just my business. And I was like, oh, wait, it is kind of like rental property.
Wow.
I was like, I basically have like 11 apartments that I rent out
Yeah.
to small business owners.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't I just do more? I'm already doing it. Why am I not doing that? It just didn't click
Just do
before,
that. Yeah.
you know? And so that's when I was like, I told my wife, I was like, babe, I'm going to call a real estate agent. And
Mhm.
I started looking for another place. Found one because the business process is hard. I found one, right? I found one. It was great, worked, everything
Yeah.
good, negotiated, put the deposit down. They started executing, and it had been a year, and they still didn't have the place done.
Oh.
And it was like March, and they stopped communicating. It was like
Oh.
June at this point. They like weren't responding to any emails, texts. So we were like, give me my money back, basically. And then started that process all over again.
Yeah.
But now I have a second one. It's got 5 rooms. So we have 16 rooms now. And then
Nice.
I'm looking for my third.
Nice.
I had no idea that I was going to do that. I didn't plan on that. That just is an idea that popped up that I
But I
acted
think
on.
that's what happens is I think we get so focused sometimes on how we see it that we don't realize that there's other things that are going to be coming
Yeah.
over to us. But I think being aware and then taking it and running with it, which is exactly what you did,
Hmm.
that speaks to me. And I think because I'm that person that is so like, I'm a lister, right? And I've got things, I've got my vision board. I'm like this, 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 this. And then I've learned over the years, but there's things I don't even know that are coming. But look for it.
Yeah.
Be open to it, and then look at that opportunity, which we were talking about before too. Got an opportunity that came just out of nowhere. That's been on my business plan for years, right? So
Yeah.
now
Been
I'm like,
doing this.
okay, well now is the time because now I am more at peace, like you said. I am
Mhm.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
That's how we look at it.
Well, and then through that process of me hiring the therapist, training them,
Mm-hmm.
Implementing, because I would basically give them everything, right? I would
Yeah.
teach them how to sell. I would teach them how to market. I would teach them how to make video. I would teach them how to rebook people.
But you love doing that portion of
Well,
it, though.
that's what I realized
Yeah.
through that process is I'm like,
Yeah.
this is what I actually love about what I do. Because it would
Yeah.
when I would show them something and they got it and then did it and then it worked
Mm-hmm.
and then you
That's
could
the
see the
high.
change. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
high.
that's the
I
high.
was like, you could see the change in them and
Yeah.
like, look, I
Yeah.
wasn't able to do this before and now I can.
Yeah.
Nobody was rebooking before and now they are.
Right. It's powerful.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
people started reaching out to me for coaching. I never planned on being like a trainer or coach or anything like that. And it kind of just naturally happened because I was already doing that.
Right.
It's like I already have all these processes and I know they work.
So who are you coaching these days?
My main target is massage therapists,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah.
But everything I teach, I have a couple of hairstylists, coaching clients, massage therapists, estheticians. Like it all works.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in like a service business, yeah. If you have like a clientele,
Right.
most of the things except for the massage portion of what I do
Sure.
translates. I really want to partner up with a handyman.
You do?
Yeah. For some, it's just like right there.
I have a couple.
Dude, I'm
This is
like,
what this is all about.
listen,
Making connections,
handyman.
dude. I need to know who you
Yeah.
want.
It's like, this is like completely, it's like, oh, you're a massage therapist coach. But I'm like, over here, I have
The
this like,
handyman coach.
not a coach. I want a partner.
Okay.
You know, like I'm like, you're good at what you do as far as the
Yeah.
work.
I've got one for you.
But I've seen so many who like the business side of it. I'm like, dude, you could blow up
I
if you were good at the
know.
business side,
But they're
which is what
not.
I'm good at.
Most people will, though, when they start their own thing, that's not that's
No,
not
they're
necessarily
the
their
technician.
skill, right?
Yeah.
It's the thing that they do is what they're great at.
Right.
All this other stuff they have to do, but they're not.
Right. They're not good at
They
the
need
follow
systems.
up.
They need all of that, though. And I think if they have that all kind of dialed in, kind of like your therapist right now,
Yeah.
if they just implemented exactly the steps you told them to do, that's most people. That's most people. They're good at following the processes, not coming
Yes.
up with a process. And I'm guilty of coming up with my own processes. It takes me long and it gets me very flustered. I've learned to outsource that and say, okay, I need somebody that knows how to create the processes. Then I work better under that. And I just learned that I'm just not going to exhaust myself trying to figure it out.
100%. That's why I
Yeah.
hired a business coach last year
That was
for
me
the
too.
for the coaching side of things. I'm
Yeah.
like, I need somebody to help me
Yep.
organize this because
Yep.
I'm an idea person,
Me too.
and it's like I have like 1,000 ideas, and I can't. I just need something to start, and then I can start
Yep.
filling in like other pieces.
I did the
Um,
exact same thing.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
been a game changer.
Oh, I call her now for everything.
Yeah.
Any opportunity that comes
Yeah.
up or anything that I'm doing, I'm like, I need a session, right? I need clarity on this. And it's however many sessions we need to have moving forward with that.
Right.
But she's now my crutch for sure. Anytime I've got something new coming up, because she makes, just like yours, it moves that needle for us how much quicker. I mean, it's amazing.
I've already made my like more than my money back on coaching. So
Yeah,
and it's only been like
hands down
5 months.
Yeah, I love that.
So
What's you have something here, this badass planner. Tell us more
yeah,
about
come on, man.
that, because it kind of like comes into your processes and what we can do like every
Can you
day.
see that
I
in the
love
camera?
this.
Cool.
I love this.
I gave you one of these. Have
No,
you?
I know.
Did
Yeah.
you use it?
Yes, I'm using it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I came up with
It's
this.
a little messy, so I wanted
Yeah.
you to bring a clean
I
one.
came up with this for me because I use a ton of planners, like productivity planners.
Okay.
And they're all either like too much. It's like, here's a bubble for everything.
Yeah.
Like color
Yeah.
this in for today. I'm like,
I
this is
know.
too much, or it's not enough. It's
Right.
not quite what I needed.
Right.
And so over the years, I used my website developer, Cast Design Team. Let me shout them out, Stephanie Ortiz. And Olivia.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She did all my websites. She's done all my design, my logo, all that stuff. So she brought my idea to life, and it's selling on Amazon now for
18?
$24.99. Amazon put it on sale at the beginning for like 18.
Oh, okay. It's 24.
It's $24.99.
Okay.
So basically, it's like a coach and a planner, right? We have 20 value-add follow-up ideas here. We have how to set your income goal and how to like actually come up with a goal that you can go after for your income, and how to set your prices, because a lot of people just kind of wing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, what do I feel like I'm worth? Which does play a factor in pricing, but after you find out what your
Right.
needs are,
Yeah.
Place to keep track of your clients here. But the real greatness of this is the daily productivity,
Mm-hmm.
right? We have a place to write down goals, your most important task, other things you need to accomplish, follow up and connection calls, writing down your successes for the day.
Mm-hmm.
3 things
Which I
I'm
love
grateful
that, because
for.
we do talk a lot about like gratitudes and things like that.
Yeah.
But I've always had my gratitudes in another book. Now I can have them all right there.
Yeah.
And that is more to me like for the day. And if I forget, I kind of go back and then I fill it in for those days, like what happened that day. So
Yeah.
it kind of gets me to kind of rethink. Oh, sometimes if I forget,
100%.
but I love that it's all in one spot.
And I think most people
Right.
waste so much time thinking about what they need to do.
Yeah.
And if they just spent a little bit of time planning it, they'd save hours a day in
Mhm.
productivity. And like you said, the success is part of it. We forget how much we did.
Yeah.
And I have a calendar at home. It's called the Big Ass Calendar. And I got that for my personal life because I wanted to start keeping track of the time that I'm spending with my family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because I look back on last year, I can't think of anything that was significant except for one trip to Big Bear with my family. Like, but all the other small moments that I had,
Yeah.
which are like this snowball effect of like quality and relationship,
Yeah.
are lost. Unless a certain memory stands out. But now I keep track of spent 15 minutes reading to my daughter, and I put it on a post-it, I put it on the calendar for the day. Went to my son's baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
You're going on there today. Did Janelle's podcast today, right? Like, this is quality time.
Yeah.
It's noteworthy.
Yeah.
And so I can look back on my calendar and feel good about what I did and what I've done over the year.
Mm-hmm.
And it also helps when my kids are like, "You never spend time with us." I'm like, "Psh,
Yeah.
look at the calendar. Look at all that. Look at all those post-its up there of time
Yeah.
that I spent with you, because I'm keeping track of it all."
Yeah. But
You
I
know?
think that's good for you that you know that you are doing those
Mhm.
things. Even if it's 15 minutes, it's an hour, it's this, it's that. You're doing it,
Yeah,
right? It
yeah.
reminds you that you're doing that for everyone around you. And you're always very good about trying to make sure you give everybody a piece of your time.
I'm trying.
It's just
I
like,
got 4 kids.
I
dude.
know,
I'm
like, I
trying.
don't know how you do it.
And a
But I
wife
think you had a
too.
massage yesterday, didn't you? Like yesterday
I've been
morning
getting
or
them once a
something. You're
week.
like, I'm getting more.
Yeah, my wife's like, "Can we back up to every other week?" I'm like, "Not right now, babe,
Yeah.
because summer's coming. I'm home, and I don't want to be working as hard as I am. I'm going hard this next 2
Yeah.
months with my own clientele, with the coaching, like stuff like this. Like,
Yeah.
it takes a high level of energy and activity.
It
I
does.
gotta up my self-care to
Yeah.
be able to maintain that.
It does. Talk more about the which I didn't know about the training that you're doing on the connecting. I love this.
Oh yeah, so I just
This is exciting.
ultimately, relationship is what we're after, right?
Right.
When in business is all about relationships.
Right.
And I think the most successful people are really, really good at that. They're really good at
Mhm.
connecting with people. They're really good at relationships. They're good at listening,
Mhm.
and so I think the better you can get at that, the better you can be in business,
Mhm.
and getting away from that transactional, like, I'm just here to take your money
Yeah.
and move on.
And that comes across to people.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I did a class because a lot of people, especially massage therapists, service providers, they're like afraid to be on social media.
Mm.
And I think that's for a couple of reasons. I think it's because there's just fear of being seen and stuff like that.
Mm.
But I think they're afraid. They're going on there to get
Yes.
instead of give.
That's a good point.
I'm going on there. Hey, I have an opening today. Hey, come buy from me. Come give
Right.
me money. And that doesn't feel good,
Right.
all the time. You want to do that, but that's not the bulk of what you want to be doing. Like, you
Mhm.
want to be going after connection. You want to go after relationship.
Yeah.
And so I just came up with a simple, easy marketing process that involves networking and networking groups professionally, but also other things you can do, like block parties, or
Mhm.
it's community, it's connection, it's relationship, and it's trust
Yep.
is the center that we go to network. We do networking, we do live events, we use social media to amplify what we're doing. I'm not doing it now, but I did on my last podcast as I was going live, as I was having the conversation,
Mhm.
to use social media to amplify what I was doing. And then it's email and getting people on your email list, but not just to sell, but to nurture the relationship there,
Mhm.
to add value there, right?
Mhm.
To tell stories,
So give an example. I want to stop you there because I have this thing where I have this pet peeve when people say, and I hear this a lot. They'll tell their sales team, you need to bring value to somebody, but sometimes people don't know what the value add is.
Mhm.
So I'm a huge advocate of saying, here's some ideas of what value is. So tell me, because you did just mention that. So if you're bringing value to somebody in an email, what does that look like?
Yeah, it could be education on something.
Okay.
It could be a story of a lesson that you learned. I'm talking to my massage clients in my emails, or to like
Right.
possible coaching clients or prospects
Sure.
and stuff like that. And so the information varies a little bit. So for my massage people, it might be life lessons around time management, or here, like, I told a story of my son told me the night before that he wanted to work out. And I was like, okay, I'll wake you up at 6. I get him up at 6 and he's like, can we skip today?
Mm.
And I'm like, no, bud.
Yeah.
You know, as
Yeah.
your dad, I'm not going to be able. I just cannot allow you to not stand true to what you told
Yeah.
yourself you're going to do.
Yeah.
Right. And then I turned that into a lesson of like, we're adults now. Like, we
Right.
have to be the one to be the voice that says, I don't care how you feel, do the thing you told yourself you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I get like
Mm-hmm.
my massage clients are like, dude, that was a great email.
Yeah.
Like I think that's how you know you're adding value.
Yes. And I think you and I, we're so in the trenches with people and just in circles and all of that. But I think the public isn't really. And I think we assume that they are, and that this information that we're giving them or tips or whatever that is like, it's second nature to us,
Yeah.
right? But it is so powerful to them because they're not really hearing that. Like
Yeah.
you and I hear this type of encouragement and all these things probably more frequent than your average person. So I think it's great that you are giving those and that they're receiving it that way, right? Because it's obviously something that they're not being told.
Yeah.
It's something that's not in their world right now. But if we're able to share that with them, right?
Yeah.
It's a simple thing for you and I think sometimes, but for the receiver, it's huge.
And the messenger matters.
Yeah.
You know, like you can hear the same thing many different times, but somebody else says it, and it just
Yeah.
hits different.
Hits different. Yeah.
You know, and maybe I'm that one, or maybe I'm not. Maybe they look at my email and they're like, dude, shut up, dude. You know,
But I don't think
who
there's
knows?
anyone else
Yeah.
that they'd ever been visiting, on the massage table that is going to be giving them that kind of information.
no.
That does not happen.
No, that ain't happening.
No. So that's what's going to set you apart. And that's what's going to make you real to them and authentic, which
Dude,
we were talking about.
Clients will be like, dude, if I stop, they're like,
What happened?
where's your
Where are
emails
you?
at, dude? Like,
That's exactly
it's
what you
crazy.
want. You want that.
It's crazy
That's
because
what you
I
want.
wasn't always like that, right? It
Okay.
used to just be the newsletter,
Oh,
right? And
Yeah.
you know, like, and that was okay too. It's better.
Yeah,
Than,
it's
it's better than
okay.
nothing,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah.
But when I got more into like storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
that's when that's the game changer
Totally.
right there.
I agree.
And
I do a
Yeah,
lot of
so-
events where we are about the story, like tell the story, because the story is relatable. There's something about it that people go, oh my gosh, right? Or the struggle, or I didn't know that portion, or wow, you overcame that. Because we're all doing that in our own life anyway,
Yeah.
just a different version of it,
Mhm.
right? But when somebody's willing to talk about it, it's not so like bottled up with the person. So I think it opens them up, whether they realize that or not.
100%.
Yeah.
Stories are how we connect.
Yeah,
Who doesn't love a good story,
I know.
dude? And it's crazy. Can I tell a story?
Yeah.
So like, I was reading a book. I was reading a book with a client. You know, we're listening to a book about storytelling, and they talked about how this hospital, long story short, had an MRI machine. The kids hated it.
Mm.
And so instead of going and spending all this money on developing a new MRI machine or a CT scan or whatever it was, they decided to like create a book about pirates and like dress up, like make have you heard this
cool.
before?
No, but
So-
I can.
Yeah, so they like put scenery up in the office.
Wow.
The staff dressed up as pirate, like characters from the
Very
book,
cool.
and they would send this book home with the kids. And basically, when they get on the thing to go into the scan, that was the raft that they were trying to, and they had to be quiet so that the pirates didn't see you.
Oh wow.
And I was like, I told my client, I paused, why am I not doing this with my kids?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so like that night, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna try it. You know? I didn't know when I was gonna try it, but I was like, I'm
Right.
gonna try to be conscious of using storytelling
Yeah.
just for parenting.
Right.
And I know we're all over the place, but
Yeah.
for
that's right.
parenting. And so I go home, I'm like, all right, girls, I got 2 boys, 2 girls. My daughters are 7 and almost 5 right now. And they go, I'm like, it's bedtime. We got to go get ready for bath. They're like, no. They start running away from me, right? And I was like, God, shh. I was like, did you guys hear that? And they're like, what? I'm like, you didn't hear that? They're like, no. I'm like, shh, come here, get down. I'm like, the pirates.
They're probably freaking
Yeah,
out.
they're like, they're giggling. They're like, what? I'm like, come here. There's pirates. I'm like, they're looking for us. It's all fun. I'm like, we have to stay down. We got to be quiet. And the only way that they won't find us is if we get the smell off of us,
Yeah.
So we got to go get a bath so that they can't find us. And they're like, okay. And as we're walking upstairs, my daughter turns, she goes, this is so much fun.
Oh, that is so
and it was
cool.
like the best bath time I've ever had.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's it was the best.
Yeah.
They were quiet in the bath.
Yeah.
They got dressed, they got into bed with no fighting, and kind of sucks for my wife because my wife tried it, and she's like, "You're not dad. Like, we want dad to do that." I was like, "I'm sorry, babe,"
Yeah.
but yeah, and just because I immersed him in a story, the same thing. My daughter had to shave the razor,
Mm,
and I caught her shaving her leg, my 4-year-old,
mm.
and at first I was like, "You can't do that. Like, what are you doing? You're gonna cut yourself." She ain't hearing none of that. As soon as I
Mhm.
tell her no,
Yep.
she's like, "Oh, I'm definitely doing
Yeah.
that."
That's your life.
That's
Rest
my
of your life with
yeah,
her.
yeah. I'm like, yeah. As soon as I tell her no, she's like, "What?" No,
I'm gonna
she,
shave my other leg.
yeah, I'm gonna cut this whole leg. No, um, but I just told her the story about what happened to my sister,
Mm,
and how she cut her leg. I was blood everywhere, and she was like, "Oh, okay,"
yeah.
and there was no friction, there was no like power struggle
Sure.
with that. Um, so yeah, I think that's just a good lesson for life, dude.
Yeah.
People don't want to be told
Yeah.
you have to do this,
I
but if
was
you
like
can
that
eat,
as a kid, I
yeah,
think. I needed some reasoning behind it. I'm in trouble. Why? Like, not like why. It was help me understand why this is something I should not be doing.
yeah,
That was how my brain
yeah.
worked. And so that was a definite challenge to my parents because I was like, help me understand why that is. Is it just because you just want to say no? Or so again,
I
had
think
my
we all have
parents
a
told
need for,
stories, it would have
yeah,
been a lot better.
a need for control. I think we don't
Oh,
want, and
sure.
we don't want to be controlled,
Yeah.
you
No,
know.
I know. Yeah.
But just going back, I mean, the stories in your marketing is so powerful,
Yeah.
and it adds to the relationship. It it shows something about you without, it sells you without selling you.
Right.
You know.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I say a lot of that with clients. I suggest, I'll say it this way, that when they're talking to a potential that they say my clients or my clients say ba ba ba,
Hmm.
right? It comes across because we immediately want to put a list of things that we're going to provide to them, right? But I
Right.
can make this up all day long, right? And it's always going to be your same integrity, trusting, blah, 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 right? All these things we've been programmed to put on our website, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I think it's more powerful if I were to say, well, my client says that they appreciated that I called them every Tuesday with an update on this file. I didn't need to call them every Tuesday, but that's what they remembered is that I called them every Tuesday. So what does that word equate? What does that action equate to? It equates to communication,
Hmm.
right? So versus a bullet point saying I'm a good communicator, I'm going to say my clients
That's a bar.
say that, right? Yeah. So if I can have the story, my clients tell the story for me, you're going to go, oh my gosh, that's freaking amazing. She's going to call me every Tuesday. Okay, yeah, I'll sign up.
Do you want
Right?
to set that expectation? No.
Yeah, you do.
I'm just kidding.
You do want to set that expectation. So I think that the stories are like different ways and of using them. I'll say that,
Hmm.
right? We can tell them, use them in certain ways, but then over here, these stories can help us as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think people do that enough, right? I mean, if you're getting the feedback from your reviews, then you need to say what the reviews say. So if somebody says, why would I want to work with you?
Bang, this person says.
Because Bob and Sally seem to think that, they love the fact that my treatment went beyond that massage. They continually get emails from me, and that's what they're going to say in their thing. We get emails from Michael all the time giving us tips on blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
If I heard that, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I don't need you to tell me you do that.
Yeah.
I need them to tell me you do that.
That's what I
Yeah.
do. A lot of people don't like review sites, but if you do look up massage custom, no,
Yeah.
just fine. We're 5 stars everywhere.
I
No.
think that is important because I think it's just something that we're looking at to see what does everybody else feel about it.
It's
right?
a trust builder.
Because you can
know?
tell me everything all day long, how great you are all day
Yeah.
long, right? But I think if the client tells us,
Reviews don't tell the whole story, but I mean, at least you could see some consistency there. Now,
yeah, yeah.
Even when people get bad reviews, I'm mostly I look at how the owner responds more than I care about
Yeah,
the bad
that is
review.
very true.
So I look up a business and I see they might have 4.5 stars. They got like 1 star here, 1 star there. I'm like, first off, I know people are crazy.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm the same
there's a
way.
good amount of people who are crazy.
Yeah,
but I'm looking more how the owner responds versus what the review says.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
how did they reach out? How did they handle the negative review? Or they're like,
Yeah.
screw you, don't come back to my business, even though you might
Right.
want to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, but that's what I'm looking for with
Yeah.
reviews.
And people, there's always going to be
I'm not
complainers,
afraid
like
of
you
bad
said.
reviews. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that that's, to your point, I think it shows your character when you do respond to that, right? That's going to say something
I haven't
anyway.
always responded great. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
But I haven't. Honestly, I've learned about myself. I need to take some time to breathe before I
Mm-hmm.
respond to certain things.
Yeah.
But I think I've done a pretty good job. But now I look at reviews as an opportunity, like negative reviews.
Yeah.
If somebody's unhappy, these are the best opportunities for me to create loyal clients.
Sure. Yeah. I've done that in the past too, because I'm not afraid to say, I mean, I'm here to try and fix it for you. If not, okay. But if I can, and I've won clients over that exact same way, let me see what I can do.
Dude, these people are providing, somebody giving me a negative review
Yeah.
provides me so much value, right? Because nobody gives us feedback,
Yeah.
right? But if I can get somebody if somebody's
Yeah,
upset
enough.
and they're going to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
At least it might be an upset version of the truth.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get some truth in there, and I'm going to be able to see the opportunities of where I can improve.
Mm-hmm.
This is the problem for most massage therapists and honestly most service providers is we never get honest feedback. Everybody in our face doesn't want to hurt our feelings.
Right.
And so when you ask after the session and they're like, and I'm like, how was the session today?
They're
and they're like,
okay.
oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Really good. Did you want to reschedule? I'm going to call you.
Yeah.
But they're never like, dude, you were trash.
Yeah.
I don't feel better at all,
Yeah.
But man, if you can get those ones that do, well, now I have an opportunity, one, to train my therapist. Like when they would get bad reviews,
Yeah.
I'm not scolding them because of that.
Right.
I'm like, dude, this is what she said. Tell me what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, here's how we can fix that problem from happening again. She said you thought you were working on a knot. You were clearly working on her rib.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. When she speaks up, my boy, like you got to adjust your, and so it's always an opportunity. I don't want negative reviews, but I try to look at them as opportunities to improve. Mm-hmm. And I'm grateful for the feedback because we just don't get it.
Yeah.
When's the last time somebody told you, like, hey, you're not good at what you do? Probably like the week before, never.
I think they probably just don't work with me.
Yeah, they just don't work.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's actually told me that, but I think they just don't work with me.
So that's why I was
like, okay.
Did I mention earlier that somebody
not a good match?
Did I mention earlier that somebody canceled the massage on me? I mentioned that here, right? They canceled the massage early on me?
Yeah.
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 So like that's like,
oh yeah.
That was like the smack in the face I needed to help me improve.
Yeah.
Like,
this isn't working.
I'm like,
I think we're done here.
You're not as good as you thought you were, bro. Like you need to improve.
So what's on the horizon for you? What's next? Because you got your book out now, your planner. I'll say the planner is out. So Amazon,
the Badass Planner.
I
got to get some more pictures of what it looks like on the inside, but it's a solid planner. So
cool.
I know you're gonna love it.
It's cool. Yeah.
What's next for me?
More real estate.
That is the goal.
Stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the income up so we can get some more, like some investment properties. I am looking for a third location for my rental suites. Growing like a waiting list for that at the moment, so that when we get it, we have renters ready. So, and then I'm coaching. I just flew out to Delaware in February to work with a massage therapist and her 6 therapists and train her team.
Wow. Okay.
So I really I loved every second of that.
Okay.
Right. Like training their team again.
Yeah.
I gave them the systems, the processes, the knowledge, and then like next day they're like, "Wow, rebook somebody, sold a package." I'm like, I freaking love that.
Okay. So you're looking for, and again, that's really some of what we're talking about here today is what type of people are you looking for? You and I are connectors, but are you looking for somebody that's got the buildings that have possibly you'd be interested in? Like what's the ask for today?
Yeah, if you got a building, right, that has access to water, because ideally I need sinks in the room. Private rooms is my ideal situation. Hit me up. Okay?
He's ready.
I'm ready. Secondly, if you're a handyman who's really good at what you
Yes,
do,
the handyman.
if you're
Yes.
really good at the handyman side of stuff, but you don't like the business side, marketing, sales,
Yeah.
processes, follow up, hit me up.
Okay.
And then if you're a massage therapist or like you have one or more therapists and or maybe you want to hire one coming up and you're not sure what to do and how to get things in place, that's what I do. I teach you systems, processes, sales, rebooking,
Mhm.
marketing for yourself and your team.
So that would be probably like an independent business owner that is maybe even opening up one or has one currently,
or
right?
even
And that's looking to recruit, right? Because you kind of
absolutely.
have to have, if they have those systems in place, it'll be easier for that business owner to recruit people because they are going to need the process as well,
Well,
right?
I'm even down to train the chain locations
Okay.
because I have a communication process that the therapist uses in session to make sure that they are getting results for their clients just by opening communication, you know,
Hmm.
and actually getting real feedback in real time from their clients so they can make the adjustments they need to make,
Right.
you know, like things like how do you find the right pressure? How do you find the
Mm-hmm.
right area? How do you know you're working on it for the right amount of time?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do you know before you're done with the session that the client was actually satisfied today and happy with what
Mm-hmm.
they got?
Right.
That's what I teach therapists how to do. And it's all communication.
Mm-hmm. What's something that you dream about that's so big and so like out there that you would?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it?
Successful,
Okay.
right? That's still the goal. And
Sure.
so I created a approved local provider program. So anybody who does train with me in person,
Mm.
I will now promote.
Mm.
Like you have like my seal of approval. So I have a couple of people on that list already.
Wow.
And so developing that, again, helping them be successful and then getting as many people on that list as possible because it isn't much now, right? Like there's not a lot of traction for that list at the moment, but as that brand is built and as my brand is built,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to mean something
Yeah.
because I'm very picky,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
There's therapists I know who are not on this list
Yeah.
because they haven't trained with me in my processes.
Yeah. Well, and I think you have
You
to
know?
set that expectation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to set that criteria so that it does keep it with what you're
100%.
looking to do, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just not.
Because I don't know what the financial component will be, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like unless I actually trust that you're going to do a great job, I cannot give you my
Yeah.
recommendation.
Yeah.
And people will reach out for me. Hey, I know you. Can you give me a review? I'm like, no, I've never even worked with you. Why would I do
Right.
that?
Yeah.
My word matters, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
And you
going
got
to.
to stick to that because that's your integrity.
Yeah.
So how can people find you on social media? Because apparently you're,
I should have been on live this whole time right now.
Where can they find you? Something.
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok at Michael Ortiz Jr., on Instagram at Michael Ortiz Jr.,
Okay.
On Instagram at Massage Customs 2.0 because my other one got hacked.
Oh.
So Massage Customs 2.0 for the massage
Okay.
content. Anywhere else, Michael Ortiz Jr., michaelortizjr.com.
Okay. And we'll have your information here on
Yeah, it's in the process. Oh, okay. It'll be done by then. This episode comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have all of his contact information here. But again, thank you so much, Michael, for coming. Michael Ortiz Jr. .com for coming today. You're always one of my favorite people, and always when we get together, we're always forward thinking, and we always seem to be further along each time we meet. So
Yeah.
I love that we're both still moving forward. So for everybody out there, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I'll see you next time. Happy connecting.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you letting me be here.
Thank you.